the CEO of SydWest Multicultural Services. As part of their leadership transformation journey, Elfa championed the Building the High-Performing Teams, a neuroscience leadership initiative designed to enhance trust, collaboration, and capability during a time of significant growth and structural change. Welcome, Elfa.
Hi, Vanessa, and thank you for the opportunity to share our experience collaborating with you.
Tell me, Elfa, first question, what was the biggest leadership challenge that you were facing that led you to invest in this leadership program?
The biggest challenge for us wasn't necessarily operational, but it was more of leadership alignment. We were scaling quickly, we were integrating 3 organizations into one, and we were navigating at the same time reforms across the disability sector, aged care, settlement systems. So the complexity wasn't just structural, it was more human. Different leadership styles and histories, different cultures, different ways of making decisions. So I knew that if we didn't intentionally build a cohesive leadership mindset, we risked operating as a group of very capable individuals rather than a high performing executive team. And for me, the investment was about strengthening how we think, how we regulate our emotions, and how we lead under pressure, which is it happens more often than not in the sector that we operate in.
So, talking about navigating that acquisition and merger while scaling the organization, how did this program help unify the leadership team during such a change process?
Well, during a merger, uncertainty is inevitable. And I think that what determines success is how we as leaders respond to that uncertainty. So your program gave us a shared language around those responses, around our cognitive bias, and around our emotional regulation. Your program created for us psychological safety. Leaders became a lot more self-aware and more accountable of their own impact to others, and that includes myself, of course. So instead of reacting from, our legacy positions, the whole team began responding from a place of collective responsibility for the future of the organization, and shifting their thinking from that of my division thinking to a whole of the organization thinking.
Nice. So, what has been the most significant behavioural or cultural shifts you observed across the leadership team since the program began?
I think there's probably 3 key shifts that stand out for me. And the first is around emotional regulation, how all of us as leaders are less reactive and more intentional in the way that we behave. Secondly is difficult conversations that are always happening in the workplace are happening earlier and in a more constructive manner. And thirdly, the shift I see is around ownership, greater accountability at the executive level, and not, waiting for direction, but stepping into our leadership roles with confidence. And culturally, I think that creates a lot more trust. And of course, as we know, trust accelerates everything.
And I know one of the things that was really important to you, Elfa, was taking a lot of the training that you had done in the past. So you've done profiling and also bringing that into the program so it's not a standalone program, that it builds on what you had already invested in. Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
And I love the fact that you do invest in your people, but one of the things that was missing for you was actually connecting all the training and your investments together. Did this program help you do that?
I think that what the program, because it was based in neuroscience, it just tied everything else that we have done together. And the results of the program really showed up in the quality of our decision making and the speed. Because we keep navigating complexities in the community sector, um, it seems that everything is done, thank God, with less internal friction. Our meetings seem to be a lot more sharper after the program. Our conversations seem to be a lot more strategically focused, and there's less defensiveness in those conversations and a lot more curiosity. But I think what is also um, an important outcome that I need to point out of the program is that the leadership tone has stabilized during a period where uncertainty, as I said, and instability could have easily taken hold. So um, that tells me that the work that we did in those workshops that we ran together is really, embedded, and it's not superficial. It hasn't been forgotten.
Yes, which is really important. And one of the key things the way I structure the program is so that we do get behavioral change. It's not just a great workshop and then we walk away and we go back to our busy day to day lives, correct?
Yes, of course. And it is evident in the way that our leaders show their maturity in their leadership style after the program. They seem to be a lot more aware. And again, I keep excluding myself, but when I say leaders, I mean myself as well. As leaders, we're a lot more aware of our cognitive patterns. Where do our triggers sit? Where are our blind spots? What are our responses to stress? So that awareness really creates a choice in our response. And it seems that most of us are stepping into those conversations a lot more confidently, rather than staying confined to our silos. So growth has been visible to me in resilience, in strategic thinking, and in our executive presence.
I love those insights, Alpha. I think it's really important, and I think important to other CEOs as well to know how you've gone about that. So tell me, in a nutshell summary, what results or outcomes have you seen that really make you feel that this neuroscience based approach is really worthwhile?
Course, I think that our leadership tone has been a lot more stable. I think we are all a lot more confident walking into difficult conversations without a sense of uncertainty, but also without a sense of taking things personally. And we also know where our triggers are. And we are in a position to manage our responses to pressure in a lot more strategic way, if I can say that.
And what does that give you from a business outcomes perspective?
Well, it accelerates maturity, and I think it also brings the team a lot closer together. They understand each other, they understand one another. And when you know your colleagues' trigger point, you make sure that you avoid conversations to press those buttons. So there's a lot of clarity and understanding in our relationships nowadays.
Yes, which is really important. So I take it that that makes you more connected so that when you make decisions you can act a lot quicker.
Absolutely,
Is
yes,
that right?
yes, it
Yeah.
does.
So what has it been like partnering with me and what makes this program different to all the other programs you've done in your career?
I think that the first word that comes to mind about our partnership is that it was genuine. It wasn't simply a trainer or a consultant partnership with, a customer or a client. You balance challenge with care, and you bring in a deep understanding of the human side of leadership. Um, and I think what was important for the whole team was that you don't just deliver workshops, but you build the capabilities of people. And at the same time, you hold people accountable for their work between the sessions. So that continuity drove really the behavioral change that we saw at the end of the program.
Oh, I love it. Thanks, Elfa. Because I really do want to see real change and real transformation, not just doing a workshop and we motivate people and people walk away and then they go back to their busy work schedules. We really want to see those 1 to 3 core behavioral change within 90 days. And we definitely saw that, right, across the whole team.
Yes.
Yes. What advice do you give other CEOs considering going down this type of leadership program and this investment?
Well, it will probably be do it before you think you need it. Because I think the workshops and the program isn't a soft investment, it is a strategic one. High performing organizations are built on high functioning leadership teams. So my understanding out of the programs is that neuroscience simply gives us the tool to what we need to do with intention.
Oh, I love that. Thanks, Elfa, for sharing your journey. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and it has been such a pleasure working with you, Vanessa.
And a pleasure working with you.